Hey guys. Got Joe Harricks today, episode 13. Be back in the studio again. Yeah, she is a kid, so that's gonna be fun. We'll get into that for sure. See you then. Hey you guys, how's it going? I've got my friend Joanna Harricks today. Yeah, we're just gonna have a bit of a yarn. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about yourself first?
Sure. I'm Joe, as Ruben said.
Yeah.
And I come from Valley, Clutha Valley, on a farm.
Yeah.
Yep. Sheep and beef.
Sheep and Booth.
Yep.
Yeah.
Old country girl.
Yeah. What was it like as a girl growing up on a farm? Because I've always kind of wondered that buzz.
It was awesome, I reckon. Like, I'd really want that for Mila.
Yeah.
Like, just the outdoors and the freedom.
Yeah.
And Clutha Valley as a school was real cool, like a country school.
Quite a
Just
quite a
lots of
tight knit community, was it?
Yeah.
How many
very
people
tight.
do you reckon live in Clutha Valley? Or was it hard to like kind of
It's hard because it's so
say the
massive.
border?
Yeah.
The real spread out, eh?
Yeah.
At a guess though, like 1,000?
Oh, yeah, maybe. I think there's like 100 and... Oh, maybe not even 100 going to the Valley School.
Oh yeah.
So,
How many classes were
yeah.
there when you were there?
maybe 8.
8 classes. Damn. And
Yeah.
what age groups were you mixing? Like year levels.
What do you mean?
Like you know how you have like year 1, 2, 3, 4,
Mm.
blah blah. Were you
Mhm.
like mixing year 1 and 2s? Or
Oh, yeah, some
in
of them were
classes?
mixed. Yep.
Yeah.
Some were, most of them were mixed actually. You had your like 7 and 8s, 5 and 6s.
4 and 5s.
I think like your 1s were actually by themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then 2, 3, 4, 5.
I think it's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
much the same as
Yeah.
Rosebank.
Yeah.
Where's the kindy there? Is
They,
it at the school
they
as
don't have
well?
they don't have a kindy as such. It's like a playgroup.
Oh yeah.
So you go there and you just hang out and you play with the toys.
Playtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think once you're a certain age, you can leave and like the supervisors and all the other parents just kind of watch those children. But
Yeah.
until then you can just go and hang out.
So when you're on the farm, what was like your favourite thing when you were a kid growing up?
Lambing time.
Lambing time.
Definitely lambing time.
outdoors, Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
real
like
cool.
a lot of girls are attracted to the lamb.
Yeah.
Just
No.
the cuteness factor.
Mhm. Yeah.
But so are the boys. But
Yeah.
you
And
know.
we could like actually go out on the farm with Dad because usually, I don't know, there wasn't, other jobs aren't really that exciting
Mhm.
on the farm. And
Yeah, hard.
he classed me
Everything
as...
else is actually shit.
Yeah.
pretty much.
He classed me as like a real girl, whereas like the Irwoods, like their dad just had them doing everything, like
Get 'em out there.
shearing and
Shearing,
crutching and
yeah.
on the tractor. And I've never driven a tractor in my life. I hate
Yeah,
to
yeah.
say that, but Dad's like, no, like you're a girl and your brothers can do that,
Yeah.
which sucks
Did
because
that-
I wish
did
I
that-
could.
did you? Would you like to have learned how to do
Mm,
tractoring? Yeah.
Definitely, and like being in the shed more and that sort of
Mhm.
stuff. But
Did you ever do like rousing and stuff though?
yeah, I
Okay.
roused with Johnny from when I was like 14, 15.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's pretty good coin.
yeah, real good, real good. But then
Hard.
I'd see how much they were making, and I was like, damn.
Yeah. Well, the shearers, you mean?
The crutches. They
Yeah, but you
were
also
making.
see how much they're
But
working.
then how much, like,
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, I couldn't do that.
Yeah,
They're
same.
amazing.
That's what I'm like every time. I'm
Yeah.
Like, fuck, you guys are earning money, but fuck, you cunts are working.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Jesus.
like running a marathon in
Yeah.
a day. Like it's hard knacker.
Oh man, I couldn't. My body couldn't handle that day. Imagine that 5 days a week for like 50 years or something.
And then when it's like really,
Respect.
really hot,
Yeah, hard. And
I'm
that's
sitting there
normally when they're
sweating, and all I'm doing is this,
Yeah.
you know, and they're sitting there like right into it, and yeah.
dealing
they're
with the sheep
amazing.
as well.
Huh?
Dealing with the sheep as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. Some of them are really mean. I
Oh,
had to just
man.
like look away. It's like, oh, you're being mean.
Yeah, hard to be. I wonder how many girls struggle with that when the rousey sheds.
Mm.
Even today, me and Dad were out on the farm, and he was shearing the rams.
Mm.
And I was just like, holy shit, bro. That looks so hard.
Yeah.
Like, the
Rams
rams
would
are
be
just
real
a stiff
hard.
up, eh?
Oh, I hate rams. I'm scared of them, eh?
Oh,
I wouldn't
fuck
put
yeah.
myself in a paddock with them because they're not scared of you. And
I
they'll
have a
just
traumatic
like,
experience from
No,
rams.
I didn't.
Yes. I was like, I reckon, I don't know my exact age, maybe like 4 to 6, around
Mm.
there.
Mm.
We had pet lambs,
Yeah.
and I thought it'd be a good idea to go take the lamb down and give it to a sheep. Because, you know, he's a lonely lamb. He wants a mum.
Uh-huh.
Want some
course.
loving.
Uh-huh.
So I took him out to the front paddock and then tried to give him to the sheep and like, there you go, that's your lamb. Yeah, it's yours, take it. And then it was actually a ram, and then the ram just fucking butted me.
Oh.
Gave me a wee butt over, and then I just got up, cried, and ran away.
Oh, that's really sad.
Could have been worse, though, I suppose. You reckon?
Yeah, could have been
How
worse.
vicious could they get? I feel
don't
like
know.
out in the open space like that, probably not really, eh?
Nah, just a butting. Like, that's all they
Yeah,
can
yeah.
really do, you know.
Get
and you
out of
could,
here.
Yeah,
And once I started running away, they would have just been like, all good.
yeah. Bulls are what you don't.
Yeah.
Like, we have
Do you have
calves.
ca-
So,
oh,
yeah. So we'll have, like, 20 calves,
Mm.
feed them up, and they're fine as calves, but then they grow into bulls, obviously.
Fuck, they
And
look vicious, bro. And they're so meaty. It's like,
I'm, like, terrified of them.
hey.
Absolutely terrified of them. We'll go on the paddock with Dad, and I'm just, like, clung on to them, eh? I'm just like, nah. Because they just come right up to you, and it's like, they could just tip over the floor.
What about cows then? You scared of cows as well?
I'd go to like George's farm and I'd just be like, oh my gosh, I do
They're
not
so
like
big.
it. But I think I just associated with them with bulls, but
Yeah.
they're harmless, I
Understandable.
reckon. Like, they don't do much. They just eat and walk.
Yeah, yeah.
They're
It's pretty
pretty-
crazy, like, when you compare, like, the female sheep or the female cow to the male
Version.
version.
Yeah.
And then you look at, like, the human version. I feel like there's a lot more difference between the human versions, you know?
Yeah, true.
Like, when you look at, just say, a ram and a ewe,
Yeah. Mm.
they look pretty much the same. I mean, the ram's just bigger. A bit bigger and it's got a big bull sack.
They do, yeah.
Which is pretty noticeable, that bull sack.
Yes.
Yeah, when you look at humans, it's like tits, long hair. We have all these social norms that we go look at as well. The
Yeah,
girls, you know, bum, curvy,
For some.
skinnier. Yeah, obviously, there's diversity within that. And then there's like male stereotypes as well. You know, stereotypically wider shoulders,
Mm.
stronger jawline, shorter hair. Fuck the norms.
Yeah, it's so different. And
Yeah,
just like the way we're wired is just, it's crazy.
It's pretty. Me and Brandon were kind of talking about it the other night, and it's weird how like we're attracted to, like, males and females are attracted to certain qualities within the other gender.
Yeah.
I find it real buzzy, eh? Because like if you actually like bring it back to like the animalistic nature of us, like if you just thought of us as chimps with like a little less hair, it's like what? Why is that attractive? It's like it makes no sense.
It doesn't make sense because that's not real.
It's not real.
The
okay.
chimp thing. There we go. I'll challenge you there.
Go on. What do you think?
Well, I think that we were made by God, not by, we didn't come from chimps.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I think.
Okay,
And so
fair
it's
enough, fair
like
enough.
we were designed to be like attracted to certain, you know, each so unique and
I would say
we're-
we're still designed for that, yeah.
Yeah.
But like I'm coming at it from a different angle than you,
Yeah.
yeah.
but definitely
But even just the fact that we've got these design parts that are attracted to the
yeah,
certain parts. Obviously, it's necessary as well to keep recreating
definitely.
new life forms and whatnot.
Definitely.
If we weren't attracted to each other, then I'm pretty sure we'd be fighting each other probably.
Yeah.
Like, not that we probably have too much fighting as it is between us. But
I find it interesting that people are attracted to the same sex.
that is interesting, eh?
Like, yeah, what? I don't know, like, is their makeup in their brain, like, just a little bit different, or,
It's
you know, or is it, like,
don't know
you
the science,
develop,
eh?
yeah.
and I think there's still like a lot of skepticism around it. Like, is it something that people are born with, or is
Yeah.
it something that comes from the environment that they're brought up with?
Yeah,
I'd say it's probably a little bit of a mixture of both. And
definitely. Some things
case
would
to
make you,
case.
like, not trust the other sex, maybe, for,
For sure,
various
for sure.
reasons, but then others, maybe there's nothing, and
it's just the
like,
attractive element for me. Like, I understand like how you could have a bad experience with someone,
yeah,
but then I don't know how that can like push you into becoming more attracted to the other sex.
yeah.
But
It's,
it's a thing.
it's
It
definitely,
happens.
definitely a thing. Because then you have people with both as well, so it's like,
Yeah, the
That's what
bisexuals, eh?
yeah. I have a my.
Did you ever have it? Because I always thought about it. I'm pretty sure most guys thought about it. Like, I always question myself. I was like, am I?
Really?
Am I gay?
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's common. I don't know.
Was that
maybe
a
it's not.
certain? Was that a certain age, like through puberty, through
Yeah,
high school
yeah,
sort
yeah.
of thing?
Totally. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's definitely pretty normal.
Oh yeah, I think it is.
I don't know if I ever questioned that though, to be honest,
Mm.
but I think it is a very normal
Yeah.
part of puberty and stuff.
whenever I'd be like that, I'd just like think about like a hot girl, and I'd be like, nah,
No, that's way better.
no, I'm not gay. I'm not gay.
I'm
dude.
definitely
Like,
not
pretty-
gay.
No, I'm not. And then that happened a few more times, and then I was like, definitely now it's just like never
Yeah.
like question that.
No, yeah.
But I understand, like, I feel like people should be allowed to question it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And if you feel free to go and explore it yourself, but don't be telling me that I have to go explore it, because I just explored it through simulation in my
Yeah.
mind. It's not for me.
Not keen on going
Not
any
for me,
further.
But do you think that's what a lot of the I don't want to speak for bisexuals or anything, but do you think that's what they're like? That might be part of what they're up to. Like they're trying to explore their sexuality and find out.
Yeah.
Maybe they're a little bit confused more,
Yeah.
and they're like, I don't actually know where I stand on this.
Yeah.
And
I wonder what the statistics are for like bisexuals around that age of puberty and stuff, because your hormones are so all over the place, and
all
you're
over the place, yeah.
figuring out who you are around that age, as opposed to bisexuals sort of later on in life that maybe have a better understanding of like what they want and all that sort of thing. So yeah, it could be a lot of exploration going on there. And
At the same time, it could be part of a rebellion thing. I could say with younger
Yeah.
people, like
yeah,
fuck society, I'll do what I want.
Yeah.
I can do either. you know?
yeah, for sure.
But at the same time, other people are going to be more inclined to be like, fuck that. I don't want to be that outsider, you know?
Yeah.
Some people kind of strive to be that outsider,
Mm.
whereas some other people want to stay within the social norms and whatnot. They don't want to be different.
Yeah,
They're scared of
definitely.
isolation. I feel like I kind of tried to do that a little bit in high school. When I like kind of, remember how I went through like my metal phase a little bit? My
Mhm.
heavy metal phase?
Yeah, actually, you did.
I
Yeah.
think that was a little bit like, fuck pop music. But, I do think heavy metal is better than pop music. But, yeah. I think there was a little bit of that.
Yeah.
I kind of liked the being different from everyone else,
Yeah.
a thing.
Figuring out your individuality.
It
and
is
just like
part
who
of that.
you are.
Mhm.
And yeah.
Do you ever have like anything rebellious acts, or do you think you're more someone to kind of stick to the status quo?
Yeah, I think I actually grew up with like really strict parents.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like not having a bar of anything that like my friends were sort of allowed to go and do, like drinking and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'd like go out and drink, and
So most
I was rebelling against my parents like
they didn't
all
know.
the
They
time.
just didn't know all that time.
They didn't know like that whole
all
time.
that time.
All that time, which like frustrates me, because I'm like, I wish I could have just, like looking back, I'm like, I actually like real needed them at that time, and it would have helped for them to like not be strict.
Yeah, to
with me,
be
if
able
they-
to talk to them about it.
Yeah, if they had have been like, oh, here you go, here's a certain amount of drinks, and like I'll pick you up, and like,
Yeah.
oh no, you're safe at home, because I wouldn't do some stupid thing, and it's just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I just wish that like I knew about alcohol, and I knew, whereas it just not being a closed conversation, like, nah, you're not doing it.
Yeah,
and then, I'd like, I like lied to them quite a few, and like that's
Do you
not
think you
me.
got-
Like I hate.
You think
I
you got a
hate knowing
thrill
that.
from lying about it?
Definitely not. Like I hated that.
Okay.
So I don't think it was like a rebellion thing. It was
But
more
you
like I
wanted
was
to be
actually
part of
trying to
everyone?
fit in
Yeah,
with.
okay,
yeah.
yeah.
So I guess it
When
was.
was it that you were actually allowed to like go out and stuff?
Well, once I go out, so like they'd let me go to like parties and stuff.
Yeah,
But in terms of, I just never even talked about alcohol, because I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
I know
they
the
just
deal
thought you were
on
at
it.
parties.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
And do you think that they just kind of trusted you?
I guess so.
Mm.
I don't know.
Mm.
Yeah, they shouldn't have been, but
Well, it's so hard for you to get home as well.
yeah,
That
yeah,
was the thing. That was one of it.
yeah. So
Surely they knew. Like, surely. And they were just like,
we're just like, yeah, I really don't know. I think like with my sister, she was like really bad, and they saw her like,
Oh,
spewing
real?
and just like, yeah. So
Yeah.
I think that they thought I was actually quite good.
how much older is your sister than you?
6 years.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And then how many other siblings do you got?
So I've got an older brother, and he's 32,
Mm-hmm.
and then a younger brother who's 17.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
so
right.
We're very spread out.
How much do you think your siblings are an influence on you growing up? Like, when you're growing up?
My older brother, I don't really remember being
Being
at home
around?
with him,
Yeah,
just
okay.
because the age difference is huge.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I only sort of remember like quite negative.
Do you think that weakened your
things, yeah.
relationship with them?
Yeah, definitely.
Mm.
Yeah, definitely. Because a good 10 years, so it was just like completely
harder.
different like stages of life,
Mhm.
and he had a real rough time like in high school, and was just like a really quiet person, whereas I wasn't like very quiet.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
Yeah, you're
it
always
wasn't real
quite
loud,
out
but
there.
like,
You're
yeah,
social for sure.
just completely different personalities
Yeah.
going on there. And I was more into like my sports and music and that sort of stuff. And he was, I guess like we both sort of have that creative side, but he was like a really good drawer and good with his like woodwork and sewing
Okay.
and all
So
that
he's
sort
good
of
with his
stuff.
hands.
Yeah, really good with his hands. Yeah, so just completely different sort of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was just your typical like mean older brother.
Okay.
Just
yeah.
you know, like just any time we interacted, like he was just like
Was a
ripping
real
me
manly
out.
man.
Not a real manly man, but just like was put. I don't know. He put down like others quite a lot, sort of thing. But I think that might like looking back, I'm like, oh, you know, he's probably just like hurting himself, sort of thing. Like,
Yeah.
So yeah, we didn't really have much of a relationship.
And what about
I
your
guess,
sister
growing
then?
up. Me and my sister are really, really close.
So massive influence.
Massive influence. It was kind of like when we were growing up, though, because we had 6 years apart. Again, it was like when she was older, you know, I was like, oh, I want to play with my older sister. And she was like, oh, annoying little sister, like, go away. But as we got older,
that
like,
stereotype,
when I was like in my teens, she was like amazing. And it was so good having someone that was older to talk to.
Which could have went one of two ways, really.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was really, really good, actually, having her. And like, I trusted her fully.
Yeah.
And, then we were both pregnant at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
and that was amazing. Like, you know,
that would have been very bonding.
yes. So like none of my friends being pregnant or
Yeah.
not really knowing of anyone else my age that, you know, just not even knowing what it's like to be pregnant and that sort of stuff.
Having someone to talk to about it.
Yeah, and she was 7 weeks ahead of me, so we were like that little she was like the little step ahead of me, so she
Kind of
was able
bridged
to
the gap
sort of
between your
just
age difference as well, a little bit, didn't it? You know?
yeah.
Brought you up to the same speed in life a little bit more.
Definitely, like I look at her as like the same age as me pretty much, and
Yeah.
we're like best mates. So
Cool.
it is really cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And how about your younger brother?
So he's 17. He's always been like real out there, sort of a boy. He was, again, it was like the 6 years. So it was the same distance between me and Mandy and me and him. So it was like when I was younger, I loved looking after him and all that sort of stuff, and we had a really good relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But then as I got older, it was like, oh, annoying younger brother, but he wanted to hang out with me.
Yeah.
You know? And now he's sort of going through that weird like teenage stage, but at least I can kind of relate. But I try to get him to talk to me about his like little girl problems. He's not having a bar of it. He's pretty like just keeps it to himself. But no, he's a cool wee dude. So
your sister would have been the most influential.
yeah, definitely.
What about just like, not even from personal experience, how much do you think siblings are important in the, what would you say? Well, just part of your life and growing up.
Like influence on like
Yeah.
growing up. Yeah, I think, well, I have a friend that's an only child,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, is it really hard not having siblings? And she was like, I don't know any different.
Yeah.
You know, and so she's got loads of really close friends, and I think she's really close with her parents.
Hard.
And so, yeah, it's
Pros
a hard,
and cons, obviously.
Yeah.
I've heard that actually like you might think that kids get most of their ideas and whatnot from their parents, and their parents are more influential on them. But I'm pretty sure it's actually the siblings that have more influence on them.
Yeah.
Because they're a more similar age, they can kind of work things out together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously the parents are still influence. I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
it's just that.
I was definitely like that, like drawn to my sister as opposed to my parents.
Mhm.
Yeah. It was like
It's a relatability thing as well, you know. You got some common ground to lean back on, and you're both kind of trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. Whereas like
exactly.
your parents have it a bit more sussed, and they're kind of, you want to believe that they have it sussed. You want them to be that like piece in your life that's got everything sorted out.
Mm-hmm.
And when you find that out, you're a little bit like, when you find out they don't know everything, you're like, ah, shit.
Yeah.
Shit. No one knows everything.
No. Yeah.
Because I always just believe my mum's word, like everything she said. She, is good as well, but like, now it's a bit more like, oh yeah, well I can think about that too.
Yeah.
I have an opposing opinion.
Yeah.
You can develop your own opinions a bit more.
Yeah, I was like that a wee bit actually. I did believe mum with everything, and then as I got older, I was like, oh, actually, like it's okay for me to think differently
Yeah.
to her, and I'm not my mum's opinion, and
Yeah.
I'm me, and you can figure things out on your own.
Yeah.
Because especially it's just a completely different generation as well, so it's like
Totally. Like,
we actually probably
that's
have
how the life
a
cycle
little
works.
bit more like insight on a lot of things than
Well, we
what
have
they
all their
do.
insight and more. You know?
Exactly, yeah.
We get to take all the good things from them and then pick out the things that we don't necessarily agree with and try fix them or make them better.
Exactly.
But it's
Yeah.
harder for them to kind of, cause
maybe adapt to us. Hey,
Yeah, well, they establish their worldview a bit more concrete. You know, ours is a bit more fluid. We're kind of still open to like ideas a bit more and
that's
whatnot.
so true.
But they're a bit more like, no, this is what it was like for me. It's life that.
Yeah, it would be so hard to imagine another world, and this world is so different compared to what they had.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the whole, like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but, like, that's to the extreme.
Yeah.
Obviously, they can still learn shit and change and whatnot, but
they're not living it, so it's different, hey?
it's hard. It's different, yeah. They've
Mm.
already got a world.
I'll have to keep that in mind when Mila's older,
Yeah.
to just be really, like, have a really open mind.
Hard.
That's so important, eh?
I definitely want to talk to you about your baby at some point, but maybe we'll do that in the second part.
Okay.
Well, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about, because I always can't fucking get a hold of you because you've got no cell phone reception.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
No
it's
one can
fine.
even get a hold of
I
me.
was just gonna wonder what you think about cell phones in general, and if you you like being away from that reception, because I can see it as being a very positive part of life to be out of that reception zone.
Yeah. I actually really like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like social media really at all. I don't know. I just feel like there's so many more like negatives to positives, just seeing what it does to like young people, and like I'll catch myself like scrolling through and maybe looking at someone else's life and actually like getting a little bit down about it, and it's like that's
comparing
not the,
yourself.
yeah, and it's like that's not the truth, and
it's not them.
yeah, exactly, and it's just like a
It's a
highlight
mask.
of their life, and I just feel like it can make people feel quite down, and there's so many like mental illnesses and stuff around there at the moment that I just feel like it's just adding to it, and maybe not we could be doing better things with our time, like all in moderation, but just getting stuck on it all the time, I think it's just like habit for a lot of us, and I know that when I'm in town and it's like, oh, you got Wi-Fi everywhere and it's just so easy, and it's like, man, I could be learning
such a waste of time.
So
it's
much.
just so expedient to just sit there and scroll, and it's just like, oh, okay, I can just do this all day.
Exactly,
But
and
like,
it's like you're actually gaining nothing from it.
Yeah.
And so being out of reception's really nice
part of that,
actually.
yeah. But it also comes with its cons as well, obviously. The fact that people can't get a hold of you as easy.
Yeah. I think that's a bit frustrating for people.
Sacrifices with everything.
Yeah, my sister's actually started to get really bad with her phone, and if she doesn't answer me like right away or doesn't pick up her phone, I'm like raging. I'm like, I'm trying to get a hold of you, like pick up, and then I'm like, oh, actually, this is what people must feel like with me all the time.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, but yeah, just with having a kid, like I don't want to have my phone on me all the time as well. Like I don't.
You don't want to show that that's something that you need.
Yeah, exactly. And I do find myself like holding my phone a lot, and I'm like, I just need to put that away, and like take time to look at her, because it's awful looking at somebody and them being on their phone. So I think of Mila, and I'm like, her looking at me, it's just like attention isn't on her, and so I want to,
Have you ever watched Black Mirror?
No.
Okay. I watched a real buzzy one of that last night. I'd recommend it. It's on Netflix, or just whatever, the local streaming on internet. You can fucking get anything now. But it was like that, where social media actually runs the world. You know, Uber, how like you keep try to keep a 5-star rating. Yeah. It's like everyone has that all the time, and it's imprinted into their eyes. So you can see everyone's rating everyone else. So you could be like a 4.5. Like people rate you on every interaction they have.
Yeah, wow.
And they can, as soon as they see you, like you can scroll through their newsfeed, like even just randoms. And then, like, if you're a lower grade, say if I was like a 2 or something, more people, I'm kind of like poison a little bit. Like people want to stay away from those people. Yeah. But like that's a crazy concept.
That is a crazy concept.
Because everyone just has their phone all the time. They're just playing the game of social media. But in reality, social media has become reality in it.
It has, yeah.
Black Mirror's real buzzy like that. It just takes like 10 technology to like its extreme, and then like kind of shows a bad outcome from it, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's really cool. But like every time, well, not so much that one, but there's a lot of them where you're like, man, that is a great technological development. Like that's going to benefit the world no matter what. But like, then they always like, not no matter what. Like that can still fuck with people, you know?
Definitely.
But like, that's what I really like about that show. Check it out. Yeah. But cell phones, at the moment, we're not at that stage, obviously. But I don't know how far out is it coming?
Yeah. It just sucks how much we have to rely on them, I reckon. Like, I'm like, I kind of miss the old days of just only having a landline and you could just pick it up and like actually call somebody.
Yeah.
Because I hate like talking back on like back and forth on Facebook. I'd so prefer to
same.
go and hang with somebody. But even having to meet up to hang with somebody, you're back and forth.
Yeah.
It's like, it's driving up.
Yeah. The main purpose I try to use like communicating through digital media is to be like, yo, should we do this?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, same.
Meet you there.
Same. Yeah.
I don't want to be like having like a how's everything going.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't be fucking reading like novels that long, you know? Just talk about it.
Yeah. It's easier to call them or catch up with them for sure.
Well, it's a lot quicker as well.
Exactly. It takes so long writing up messages.
It takes so long, bro. But yeah, I do like pictures on social media though. In terms of like, you can kind of use it. I met a girl who uses it as like a almost like a diary for herself.
Cool.
But like, so you have the pictures, and pictures are amazing because they're the closest thing we have to time travel, really.
Yeah.
You can look at a picture and it can evoke a feeling that we had at that time, and you can see it's just memories, you know.
Yeah.
And just like when we're looking at like my baby photos and my bullshit things before, it's just cool seeing it's cool seeing your progress and stuff. I think the ease of like taking pictures with the development of cell phones has been a big positive.
Yeah, that's been awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I found that awesome with me, like just like whipping out. And I'm like, man, it would suck to have to get the camera out of the case.
Yeah,
and, you know, you miss the moment and you can like take heaps at once.
It's really simple. It's just a
it is,
slide flick, you know.
Yeah, definitely cameras. That's awesome. And just being able to like play music and listen, like I watch a lot of like YouTube videos and all that sort of stuff. Like it's really
access
good
just to everything is.
Yeah, if I have a question, I'm like Google.
Yeah.
It's answers at your fingertips, really, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got a world of facts just right there.
Oh, it's amazing. Google is just like that's amazing.
Oh, it's scary good.
Incredible.
Like, I can't imagine going through university without Google.
But like the people that create, like, how is there even that much information? Like, it's just insane how.
It's insane. Like when
you can
do
put
a
in
result
anything
and how quickly it does
it. Yeah, I know.
And it says how quickly it does it.
Yeah.
Like 5 million results. It's like.
Some people just have amazing brains. Like it's.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it goes to show how intelligent the computers are as well, or the software that's doing it too. Like, to be able to just gather all that information and put it in one place.
Someone had to create that as well, which is just like, wow.
Human being created it.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Intimidation game?
I feel like maybe I have.
It's the first computer made for World War II. It was some dude who made the computer, and then so that they could find where the Germans were going to attack and stuff.
Yeah.
But they had to. Yeah, obviously, it's not like a computer in our days. But it's the first computer, you know, artificial thing. I don't know how to talk about it, but yeah.
I have to watch it.
Yeah, it's really cool. Do you like war movies?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I don't because growing up, I never knew much about history. I never inquired about it. It didn't really tickle my fancy much.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I actually want to know about that stuff, you know.
It's crazy what type of shit happened.
Yeah.
I listened to this podcast it's called Jocko Wilkins podcast, and a lot of it is just like talking from war veterans' perspectives and like their books, or getting them on the show to talk about it and what they went through, and it's just like, what?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. A lot of them don't talk about it as well, and so there was probably like limited sort of knowledge. There was like facts, you know, rather than like the emotional side to it. So yeah, the people that do speak out, like it's really amazing because most of them keep quiet, like because it was that bad.
Yeah.
Which is, that's heartbreaking.
I can't imagine how bad it was.
No, you can't. It's one of those things that.
It's pretty interesting to think how many people didn't pull the trigger when they seen someone in war because they like just couldn't bring themselves to do it. And it might have resulted in their own death just
Yeah.
because they couldn't kill someone.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd struggle to pull the trigger.
Yeah, same. I don't think I could ever do it. Yeah. No, it's scary.
Do you reckon there's like any situation in which you could kill someone?
Only to protect Mila. If it meant that something was going to happen to her.
A or
like
B.
only in
Yeah.
defense for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about defense for yourself then?
No, I couldn't kill
You
somebody.
don't think you'd have the balls to do it?
No, I definitely couldn't kill. Like maybe if I like shot them in the leg so I could run away or something, but not to kill.
Yeah, okay,
You know what I mean? Like even if it meant that something would happen to me, I'd prefer to die
it's
than
very
like me killing
circumstantial as
someone
well.
else. If you know what I mean? I just no,
Oh, it'd be pretty hard to live with that, like killing someone.
definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
That's deep.
Only if only if it meant like to save Mila. I think
Yeah, okay. Well,
protective mummer.
yeah, protective mum. You gotta be. It's part of your nature as well, you know.
Yeah,
Someone's got someone's got to look after that baby, man.
yeah. When
Right.
you understand when you have a kid, you just become a
Yeah,
whole new like world.
yeah. So Mila's her little girl.
Mhm.
We're gonna have a quick break, and then
Okay.
we're gonna get into that. Talk
Cool.
about some baby stuff.
Cool.
Sweet. Be back soon. Oh, do you have a song that we could listen to in the break?
Mhm.
Hit.
Latch.
Latch by
Disclosure.
Disclosure. Sure, go check it out. Catch you soon. Kia ora. Hope you enjoyed Latch. Good song. Let's get down to business.
All right.
Baby time.
All right.
Where do we start? Let's start with pregnancy.
Oh,
Okay?
we're gonna really okay.
We're gonna real get into it.
All
okay?
right.
Okay. So when did you get pregnant?
2015. April
April
2015.
April 2015. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that like? The 9 months. Run us through it.
Yeah. So for a start, like it was a bit of a shock.
Yeah.
Um.
So when you found out, you mean?
Yeah. When I
yeah.
found out, I actually was like, nah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, oh
Nah,
no.
ball.
No, just like wasn't even having a bar of it. And then I went into the groceries and I was like, yeah, I should probably buy another one. And so I went and brought another one. And it came up straight away and I was just like, whoa, okay. You know, it's such a hard thing to even just like
Fork in the
comprehend.
road. Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you explain that? Is there any way you can explain that feeling? Like the positive sign feeling?
Nah, like it's hard to remember how I actually felt. Like I remember
Is it
what
kinda
I
like
was doing, like
frozen a
where I
little bit,
was, and I
or-
was just kind of like, whoa. But yeah, I can't remember like the actual
Yeah.
feelings. I think a million things would have been running through
Yeah.
my head, but it's kind of just like disbelief.
Surely your heart rate just started going hard as well.
Yeah, it's just like you never think it's going to happen to you,
Mm.
and the concept of actually having a baby inside of you when you can't physically see it, or I don't know. It's just like
Buzzy.
you can't even get your head around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like that through a lot of the pregnancy. It was like, I'm pregnant, I'm having a baby,
Mhm.
but you don't have no idea what like that means to you or what
Yeah.
what it's going to be like, I guess. So it was just getting through day by day, like getting through the pregnancy for a start.
Getting used to the idea.
Yeah.
How
so,
long do you reckon it took you to get used to the idea and like actually believe it?
and like to become excited and stuff, I guess, was like my first way of believing it. Like my biggest fear was like telling my parents, and so I kept that from them actually like quite a long time because I was like, oh,
You kept it from a lot of people, but was that why
Yeah.
you kept it from a lot of people? You're
yeah,
scared it's
because
gonna
I
get back to your
didn't.
parents?
Yeah, I didn't. I wanted to be able to tell them first, so I told them at 22 weeks, which is quite a wee way through.
Yeah. You
I just,
lumping then or what?
yeah, like if I had a tight top on, like you'd
Yeah,
definitely be able to see and be able to tell, but I just wore a top, like a top that you
Loosey,
couldn't tell
yeah.
with, and it was fine. So yeah, that's why I just like kept it on the down low because I didn't want getting back to them.
Mhm, yeah.
Just
Understandable.
yeah. But yeah, I had like morning sickness for a few weeks, and that was just like getting through day by day. Like you're working all
So that's just like waking
day
up
and-
and feeling hungover?
Yeah, I felt hungover like all day, all night. You wake up and you feel the same. Like,
how often are you spewing then?
so I wasn't spewing.
Oh,
Thank goodness. I was very lucky. But yeah, feeling like nauseous
Yeah.
all day, like for weeks. That was really horrible. Like I always,
I can imagine.
yeah, I hate feeling
How
sick.
long did that happen then? Like the morning sickness period?
Yeah, so that happened for quite a while. That went for a couple of months maybe.
A couple months.
Yeah.
Airy day.
So, yeah. So that wasn't nice. Like I'd eat and I'd feel better, but then like 10 minutes later you'd like feel sick again. So that wasn't nice, and you're really tired in the first trimester. So you have 3 trimesters. In the first trimester you're really tired.
Okay. How much sleep were you getting in that first trimester then?
I was working from about 11:30 till like 7:38 at night because I was at Starter's Bar.
Yeah.
And then I'd come home, and I would sleep. Like sometimes I'd be waking up at 11 to,
And you'd be going to bed at?
just your usual hour, like 10 sort of thing,
Okay,
maybe. Yeah.
So you're almost getting like 12 hours sleep most nights.
So that actually was a lot. Yeah.
And so you were actually just like exhausted at the end of the day as well. It was like you were passing out almost.
Yeah, well, like I'd go home and just like feed myself, and then I'd just go to bed pretty much, just chill out in bed and go to sleep.
Was working hard?
Yeah, being on your feet all day, I found really hard. More so in the third trimester because I had like, the weight of a belly.
Yeah.
I had a really, like I wasn't showing heaps, but like she was quite far back and my back really hurt.
Yeah.
So
how much weight did
I put on?
Yeah.
I put on like 15 kgs maybe.
At the peak.
I think so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool, like being on the scales, and I was like,
I've never seen that number before.
Yeah, it was real buzzy, like, real funny. And then when she came out, it was just like gone, like your belly's gone again. Yeah, it was really funny. But yeah, so pregnancy was a really interesting time, but at halfway, so at 22 weeks when I told my parents, I actually found out what the sex was, and that was a real like booster for me. Like
you wanted a girl?
Yeah, I think deep down I did really want a girl, and then when they told me it was a girl, I was just so happy.
Yeah.
Because everything could be pink, and I could like go and buy clothes, and it was just like making it a bit more real. And I was just trying to make the best of like a situation that I didn't quite think I was ready for, and so that was really nice. And then being able to tell people was that was really cool, because like I wanted to show it off, but I think being in a bar, it was kind of like, I don't want to be like that pregnant chick in a bar, like that doesn't look good. So that was another reason that I just like
kept it on the low level.
But I look forward to, well, not that I actually want another kid like anytime soon or anything, but I look forward to just being able to like show my bump off and being excited to tell my parents all that sort of stuff.
Cool. And emotionally in this pregnancy, what are we talking? Roller coaster?
Yeah. So I know a few like pregnant people now, and like their partners are like they've gone crazy, you know. And I was like to Mum the other day, I was like, was I real crazy when I was pregnant? And she was like, oh no, I think you're right. And then I was like to Nick, I was like, was I crazy when I was pregnant? And he was like, you know. And so I don't know, like I guess my emotions were all over the place, and you sort of aren't really yourself, but I don't think you really realize it. You know? There's just so much going on, especially when it's
well, you don't need. Is it almost like you've lost control of your emotions a little bit?
I didn't feel that way. Like I just felt like I was just way more emotional, as in like I'd be watching something and usually I wouldn't cry over it, and I'd just like start bawling. Like I'd be watching like X Factor and someone good singing, and I'd just be like, that's so amazing. Like that sort of emotion. Like I was real. I just.
So real touchy kind of.
Very touchy.
Were there times where you had like, do you think you were like extremely happy as well? Did it ever make you feel like that?
Not that I like really remember. No, like I think it was just like normal.
So mainly
happiness.
So it mainly boosted like your negative emotion.
Well, actually, in saying that, I was crying over happy things.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So like,
if you look at it like that, okay.
Yeah. So maybe when usually I'd be like, oh, that's nice.
You're super.
Super
nice.
And even after having her, like, even just, I think it was like yesterday, just looking at I don't know, something sad was on TV, and I started to like tear up, and Dad tried to talk to me, and I was like, oh, I can't speak right now, like I'm choked up, like I'm actually going to start crying, and it was
Froggy
something
throat.
so little, like and I would not usually be like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really strange.
Buzzy.
Mm.
Okay, so that was pregnancy. Anything else you want to say about the pregnancy?
No, it was just it was interesting. Like middle trimester, that was good, and then end of it, bit sore and all that. But I had a pretty good pregnancy. I can't complain. Yeah, it was good.
Okay, how sore was it?
You're just like waiting to get to that, eh?
Oh, I got lots of waiting to get to.
So I was very, very lucky with my pregnancy. I mean, with my childbirth. So you can talk to your midwife about like what you want. So there's all these different things that they can do in terms of like pain, but ideally you want to give birth like naturally without the assistance.
Obviously, that's an opinion as well, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, just like so the things that they give you would be like drugs, or they'll be numbing you. So if you got like an epidural, that means that your body can't properly push. So ideally you wouldn't go in, like I was like, I just want to go in and ask for an epidural, but the reality is like you're not naturally helping push the baby out, which means something could happen to your baby, you know. So you'd probably want to and then there's just a lot of different things that you can take, but it can interfere with your baby. So you go in there and you're wanting to give birth naturally,
but there will be times where there's no other option.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. So that's what I was getting is that you can have this idea, you can have this plan. Like if everything's going to plan, I wanted to have like a water birth because that's like a natural, and gas, which again is, it's pretty like low key.
What do you mean by gas?
Gas. So you just like suck on
laughing
gas. Yeah, but it's down quite low, so it doesn't. I didn't think it really did anything at all. But yeah, so that was sort of my plan. It was like if things went bad, like I want an epidural, and that was sort of my plan. But
plans don't always go to plan.
But with childbirth, like plans do not go to plan. Like
very often.
Very often at all.
Very seldom.
So you definitely got to have like an open mind to
shit changing. But it must be hard to have an open mind to shit changing when you've got this plan and then you get in there. Oh. And then you're not in the mood for someone to be telling like, okay, we're actually going to change it. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's some pretty crazy things that happen, like some babies have to have like forceps and all that. Like they'll just be really horrible. But if you're the woman going through it, you're just like, whatever. Like I think you'd just be like, use whatever to get this baby out safely. Yeah. So I went in and they said I had to get induced because I was 4 days overdue. And my mum had actually said to me, she was like, oh, yeah, being induced. Like she said to me about 2 weeks before, she said that being induced is like really horrible. Like your pain just, so contractions go like this. And she said that the contractions just go like this. Mm. And they just keep peaking, and drop. Yeah. And then the lady was like, you're getting induced. And I just looked at Mum. So induced
means?
So they make the labour come, start the process. And so when they said that, I looked at Mum and I was like, and she was like, oh no, like it's not that. And I was like, you can't take it back now. You just told me how bad it was.
Don't lie to me.
Yeah. So I got like a stretch and sweep first, which was that was really painful. And pretty much the lady just
gets up in there.
Yeah, gets up in there and tries to get things going. Yeah. And I was like, oh gosh, like that's really painful. Like what's childbirth going to be like? And then, they put some gel in. So that's the first induction thing. There's heaps of different things that they can do. But I got induced with the smallest amount and it started off. So I didn't need any more. And so my contractions were actually fine. They were really normal. But we just hung out in the hospital and Nick was just fooling around and we were having a good time. I remember him lying on the bed with like a pillow under his thing, like lying there pretending. It was good. It was a good time. And then we were there for maybe like 6 hours. It went pretty quick. And I just felt like little tightening, contractions, but it wasn't painful or anything. Okay. And then it really started to kick in and it was just like, whew, like sort of starts to take your breath away, like, really painful. And then it just increases and increases and increases. And
so your mum was right.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Well, she's been induced before, but no, I think my contractions were actually alright because they had me on like a monitor thing.
Oh,
and
right.
They were right, and it's only because I just had like a little bit of gel, so it was more natural.
Alright.
It wasn't as like artificial, I suppose. Um, yeah, and I was in. Oh, and then they got me into the bath, so I couldn't have a water birth because I'd been induced, so they had to put monitors on me, and obviously if you're in the water, you can't do that. But she was like, you can go in the bath for a little bit. So a water birth would be in an actual pool, but I was just in like a little bath, and we were in there, and then she was like, okay, you got to get out. These other nurses were like trying to get me out, and my midwife was like, nah, this baby's like nearly out. We can't, or else she's gonna like, baby's gonna fall out on the floor back to the room sort of thing.
Yeah.
So she was coming really quickly, and I was only pushing for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then she was out, but there's like a transition stage, so you got all these contractions, and then your body all of a sudden changes, and from like your head to your toes, you're like pushing, like imagine if you like go to the toilet, but like it's this force that comes upon you that you're not even controlling, real weird. And it just goes in big like it's just like push. And then you're like push, real weird. And I actually liked when it changed from like the pain here to a pushing.
Okay.
Even though both are like really, really painful, it was like nice to have a break from
the pain where it was.
Yeah. And that transition stage, so I like spewed just like randomly because like the pain was just so
intense,
great. And then when she started to come out, like that was really crazy. Like that was it was very intense pain, but just like the encouragement of the midwife and everything, just like keep going. I was just like so determined. I was like, let's get this thing out, you know. And it only took 20 minutes for her to come out. So I was the whole labour.
What's the norm? Do you know?
Man, it can change. But I had 2 hours 20, and she was out, which is relatively quick.
Okay.
Some people like it's like Nick's mum. She literally dropped her babies out like in 20 minutes, sort of thing, like real crazy. You know, some people are just like that.
Stories?
And then others can be in labour for days.
Oh, real.
Yeah, and it's like hours and hours. So it's just it's crazy. It just varies. But I real feel for the women that are just like going through that pain for that long. Like you would just be exhausted, because I was like, I can't go on any longer, you know. I want to give up. And when we were walking back to the room, I heard another lady, and she was like, I can't do this anymore. And I was like, oh honey, I feel you. You can do it. But pretty crazy experience, but I'm like proud. I'm like, yep, I gave birth. If I can give birth, I can do anything, right?
What massive feeling of relief when the baby comes out?
Yeah, you just went from like pain. It was just like nothing had happened. Like it was real crazy.
Man, that must be a weird feeling.
Yeah.
And then holding the little baby.
Yeah, just holding this little thing.
That's the thing that's been inside me for the last 9 months.
Yeah, that was really weird. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
What was that feeling? Remember it?
I remember it from like, I don't know, just like looking
Baby's
at
crying.
it, you know, like no, she wasn't crying, just like eyes wide open. I don't even know. Everything was just such a blur. Like I couldn't even tell you what the feeling was, because it was just it was pretty surreal.
But you've just gone through a traumatic experience as well. You're not gonna be thinking that clearly.
Yeah. Like I remember the moment really clearly, but I don't. I don't really remember like how I was actually feeling. It was just it was just such a crazy day, just the whole thing.
You would have been exhausted.
Yeah. And then when I went back to the room, Nick was, like, see ya, I'm going to go to bed now. And Mum was like, see ya. And then I was left there with this baby, and I was like, what do I do? It was just like your whole world was completely changed.
It's real now.
Yeah, that's only when it gets real. Real.
Now it's real.
Yeah, and so I was just sitting there like, I don't know what to do at all. This thing, and I'm all alone, and it was like the scariest night of my life, to be honest. Yeah, real scary.
Necessary though, I'd say.
Yeah.
And how long were you in hospital then?
So she was born on the 23rd, and we left on Christmas Day, 25th. So it was only like a day and a bit.
Yeah. Were
so
you
not
pushing
very
to get
long
out
at all.
for Christmas?
Yeah, I was like, oh, I want to be out for Christmas, but then I was like, oh, it was kind of necessary to spend like a day there
Yeah.
at least, and she wasn't feeling very well and stuff, so just trying to get that sorted.
Yeah.
But then on Christmas Day, I was like, right,
So
let's go.
recovery process is just like a day, or were you still like exhausted on Christmas Day and stuff, or like what's the?
I think
what's
you just have
happening
adrenaline.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was like I didn't really sleep at all for like a few days, but you're fine.
Yeah.
And your sleeping goes from, like I said, like pregnancy, 12 hours,
Yeah.
to pretty much nothing at all. You're getting up feeding like, I was 3 times in the night. You know, every baby's completely different. But yeah, I was up feeding 3 times in the night. So like not much sleep at all, but you were just fine. Like, well, I was just fine.
Yeah.
The body just is amazing and just adapts, and yeah, it's really crazy that you can go from like one thing to another. It's just
So
yeah.
Mila was born on the 23rd of December
2015.
2015. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So she's 2 now.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay. Let's go. First 2 years.
Oh gosh.
First 6 months.
First 6 months are probably the hardest, I think.
Okay.
In terms of like they're just constantly changing. So
Physically and mentally, or
yeah. So as soon as you think that you've got like a good thing going, it changes.
Okay.
And then if it's bad, it's like, okay, it's going to change, but it feels like it takes forever to change,
Yep.
you know? Yeah, so sleeping patterns just changed a lot, eating patterns, just everything. I found it quite hard to like go out and do anything because she was sleeping like 3 times a day. So
Yeah.
if you imagine that,
pretty restricting.
very restricting. Yeah. But a lot of like walks in the pram and stuff, which was nice,
Fun.
like to be able to get outside and
Love
everything.
walking.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was really cool. I got to hang out with my sister a lot and play with wee Noah.
Yeah.
And then
So they're not really. Was she really up to much in this first 6 months, or she just kind of like?
so once they start like sitting and crawling, when did she? I can't even remember when she started crawling. Probably around the 9-month mark. So
Right.
yeah, first 6 months. They are changing
They're
so
completely
much.
dependable on you.
Yeah, but it was quite cool. Like she would just lie on her wee mat and just be happy sitting there kicking. And
Yeah.
I look back to those days and I'm like, oh wow, it'd be nice if you could just like lie there
Do
while I
nothing.
get dinner ready.
I know you're
sort of.
gonna be there still.
Yeah, exactly. And then she had like the jolly jumper phase where I could put her in
Ah,
that for
yeah,
a while, and she's
fun.
jumping up and down, and yeah, so just lots of different phases in there. But yeah, very dependent on you. And then the
Completely.
movement sort of starts between the 6 and 1 year.
Yeah.
With crawling and just exploring a lot more things and like walking around the table.
Start saying a couple of words then.
Yep. I think she said mum at 6 months
Oh,
was
yeah,
her
yeah.
first word, so that was pretty
Ma
exciting.
or mum.
Mum.
Mm.
Yeah, so it was really cool. And then just
Heart
after,
melting.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, I Instagrammed that. I was like, good day.
Yo.
I was just stoked that she said mum before dad, because apparently dad's like way more common for them to say.
Is it
first.
easier for them to say?
Apparently, yeah.
Mm.
But I was like, no, you will say mum.
So that was the very first word she said.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was just
Yeah, just not much at all.
Bullshit.
And just
gibberish.
yeah.
Because I've heard when babies are first talking, they're like kind of going through all the fonts, which are just like the sounds that make up words, and all the fonts from all different languages, so that they're capable of adapting to any language, but they're just testing out all the different fonts to see which ones
Oh, that's amazing.
they can use,
yeah,
which
that's
ones are going to
amazing.
be useful for them, and
Yeah.
then they forget all the other ones, which is why it's so hard for older
us
people to learn
Right,
languages.
right.
Yeah, they've
Always-
still got this whole like encyclopedia of different fonts that they can use, but then you forget them as they become more useless. I mean, why would you want to keep them?
Exactly.
They're just taking up space.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I think pretty sure that's what a lot of the gibberish is. Just them trying out sounds and which ones they can use and which ones they can't use.
Yeah. I always said I wanted to learn a language so that when I had kids, I could teach them 2 languages.
Yeah.
It didn't
Yeah.
happen.
Too late.
Yeah, she's half Māori, so I should probably start
Yeah.
teaching her some of
Yeah.
that. But yeah, once they start talking, it's pretty cool. Like she's talking now, and that's lots of fun.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is actually I don't know what she's saying. Like it's real. It is
it's
gibberish.
still hard.
Yeah. But
Still learning.
it's pretty cute. But yeah, so 1 year, just after 1 year, she started walking, And
Yeah.
that was really cool. I found that like a massive relief because I wasn't having to hold her all the time.
Okay.
She sort of had a little bit more freedom, and it probably got a wee bit easier
Yeah.
from then. And the sleep sort of started to decrease.
She got quite a bit of hair by then.
She was actually born with quite a bit of hair.
Oh,
I was a bit of a baldy,
Oh.
blonde hair, like no eyebrows and no hair.
Okay.
But she was born with black hair, and it was actually quite a bit. But compared to Noah, he had like a massive mop when he came out. So we were
Was he?
oh, like she hasn't actually got that much hair. But compared to usual babies, she probably does have quite a bit
To
of
the
hair.
norm.
Yeah. But yeah, it kept growing and growing, and she's got really long hair now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, what else is happening in that 1 year to 2 year phase then? Food habits changing.
Definitely. She's never been a very good eater.
Okay.
But yeah,
in terms of like, she doesn't like trying things, or she's a bit fussy.
She's very fussy.
Right.
Very fussy. Was always very fussy eater. But yeah, she's getting better now. But yeah, they're definitely exploring a lot of different textures and flavors. And yeah, first year started off with like the mashed food. I started at 4 months, her eating. So she would have like mashed food, and then sort of went to like toast.
Yeah.
She had vanilla custard a lot. It was her favourite thing to eat because
I
she
love
didn't
vanilla
eat.
custard.
Yeah, it is very nice. And then she just sort of started to eat things the way that we would eat them, just like cut it up and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Meats was something that just because of their teeth and it was just hard for her to like chew, and so she would like chew it up and then spit it out sort of thing, like get the juices out. And yeah, but she's starting to eat like meat properly just now, probably.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So about the 2 year phase.
Yeah.
She could have an actual meal now, kind of.
Yeah, if she's in one of her good eating moods. But yeah, I think most 2-year-olds would be.
What's her
sick
fave?
too. She quite likes her sausages with sauce at the moment.
Oh, nice.
I'm a real love my farm meat girl, so
Yeah.
she's clicking onto that, which is good.
Nice.
Yeah, likes her broccoli, which is good.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's probably uncommon.
At home we sort of have like our 3 veg, potatoes and meat.
Yep.
So I really like that, just being able to give her just like simple food. Yeah, healthy food rather than mixed in with a whole lot of stuff. Yeah, that's good.
Cool. So what's been the hardest thing, do you think? Post-pregnancy.
Maybe like doing it on my own.
Okay, yeah.
Is probably been like, because I think things are probably a lot different when you have someone else there.
Right, yeah.
So I think it was
It's a massive
more
part of
like,
it.
it was more like I found me changing probably the hardest rather than her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if I was in like a marriage, I think it would be a lot different.
Share the load a little bit more.
Yeah, and I guess like maybe being ready for a child,
Mm.
you maybe be able to comprehend
Preparing
things
for
more.
it and whatnot a bit more. Yeah.
I think like I just found it real hard to adapt and to keep adapting, just because she's just like changing so much
Mm-hmm.
and trying to like keep up with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
And
probably
just,
going to be like that forever.
yeah, just like doing yeah.
And
It's-
what's been the easiest thing that you thought like was going to actually be really hard?
I thought like feeding and stuff would be
Real hard?
would be quite easy.
I thought it'd be easy.
Yeah, but
It's actually hard.
I found that really hard.
Yeah.
They don't like tell you about, like they say like breast is best, which like it's really good to breastfeed and everything, but they're not actually allowed to tell you about formula and bottle feeding, which I
Who's
find
they?
so like Plunkett and stuff, like they're
Ah.
not allowed to even speak about it, which I find really
Why?
odd, because they just want to encourage breast milk because
That's
it's
stupid.
best for them. Yeah, exactly. So when I was sitting there, I'd run out of milk and I couldn't feed my child, and I felt like the worst mum in the world.
Mm.
And I was like, what do I do? And so I was in this position of like, I had no idea what what formula to get, what bottles
Yeah.
to get, how to sterilize. Like there's just a lot of different things that you got to think about. And so if I could go back in time, I would like learn about all of that before
Yeah.
before having her, so that I wasn't in the position where I've got this like screaming baby and not being able to feed them and
Yeah.
having to run off to the grocery store. Like, how do I use this formula? Because it's like you got to be very specific with it, or
So
you can
maybe
make them
like
really
actually
thick.
learning how to do the formula shit before
Yeah,
you
yeah.
gave birth.
Yeah, and
Would've
like
been handy.
sterilizing bottles and things like that, like
Mhm.
in the different types of teats and stuff like. Yeah, there's a lot more to
A
it.
lot of
than-
variables.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I thought all of that would have been quite
Yeah.
easy, and I actually found it really hard. And when your baby's not feeding, it's kind of like a domino effect, like they're not going to sleep very well, they're not
Yeah.
going to be happy, and yeah. So once I got her onto formula, that was so much better. She was sleeping way better, and I was like, oh man, my child's just been starving, and so it was nice to actually be able to fill her belly. But yeah, she was always just really fussy, and that was hard.
Did you look into much of the science on like formula? Like,
I was in such a rush that I was like, what do I get? I need to,
Just did it.
so I didn't even get that time to, once I, brought some, I like looked up different ones, but the internet's so full of, it's actually quite hard to sift through what
flood of facts. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a wee bit hard. So I was like, oh, I need to try and not like complicate it too much.
Yeah.
And she was going all right with the one that I had.
You just did what was working.
Yeah, pretty
worked.
much. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I changed like once, and then I was like, I'll just stick with this. Like,
Yeah.
So
Happy enough.
yeah.
Any other advice you reckon? And over the whole time span, pregnancy as well. If you could go back and do it again, what are you doing differently? Apart, not the obvious things that you've already said.
Yeah. That's a hard question.
Mm.
That's a really hard question. I don't know, I guess like maybe taking a bit more time to figure things out like mentally with everything that's like going on.
So
I think
maybe,
like taking that time for yourself is like real important.
how
So
would you go about that then? You reckon like actually going to talk to someone professional, or
yeah, maybe if you feel like that. Yeah, I don't know. That's a really hard question. Just
what
taking
about
care
with the kid then?
taking care of yourself so that you can take care of them, if you
Okay,
know what I mean. Like, 'cause I think that a lot of the time, like I went through some pretty hard times with when she was younger, and I look back and I'm like, oh, I know that mentally I wasn't present. Like I was there with her constantly, but if I had have like gotten myself sorted out a wee bit more, then I would have actually been there with her like emotionally
Yeah.
as well,
That's
so
a
I
tough
think
thing as well, though, Joe. 'Cause
Yeah.
like, there's always going to be moments like that where you're going to drift away. I mean, you can't.
yeah,
100%
I'm
be
meaning
there,
for
but
like long periods of time sort of
Yeah,
thing. Like
yeah, so
obviously that's normal.
diminishing that,
to-
minimizing that as
Yeah,
much as you can.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I think that all just comes down to taking care of yourself and doing things that you used to do before you,
Mm.
'cause I wasn't working.
Yeah,
And
big life change.
yeah, it is a massive life change. So just maybe incorporating like what you used to do. Maybe if I used to dance, so just like going to some dance lessons or a dance lesson
Yeah.
would be really nice to just like get out of the house. And I just think that way I would have been able to, I don't know, be a better mum and
Keep
stuff.
some more
but
individuality, kind of.
yeah. It is just such a crazy time, and I'm still learning. And I guess like looking
And
over
it's,
it all,
it's still hard for you to give advice as well, I suppose.
Yeah.
'Cause it's so situational, case to case, and
definitely.
you might think that you could do something better, but like, if you did that, it might have not worked out as well as what you thought. And
Exactly. I was kind of thinking that when you first asked, I was like, maybe I wouldn't change anything
yeah.
because it's just
It
like
is what it is.
yeah, exactly. And you just keep growing and learning, and yeah, it's a crazy time, but it's an amazing time as well.
Yeah. Well,
And-
yeah. How amazing is it? Is it like the best thing ever?
It is like it's so damn hard, and you don't realize how hard it
But
ever
that-
is.
all the
but
things-
at the same time,
All the hardest things are the best things. you know?
exactly. Yeah, it's so worth. Like I just look at her every day, and I'm just like, I'm so in love with you.
Yeah, like, would you class, like, so do you class that as, like, true love? Like, or is that a different sense?
Yeah, like I love her like unconditionally, as in
Mhm.
like there's nothing that she can do
Yeah. to
that
fuck
will
you off.
ever, yeah, like that will ever make me like love her any less, you know?
Is that a definition of true love? I don't
Well,
know.
I don't know, but I don't know. I just wholeheartedly
Maybe unconditional love.
like adore her, you know? It doesn't matter what she does in her life. I know that I'll
Yeah.
just like always love her so much.
Beautiful.
And you just like looking at her, I'm like, I created you. Like, what? It's so weird.
You
Yeah.
used to live here.
Just just seeing this little like cute wee human, and it's just it's a really buzzy feeling thinking that you made that somehow.
Yeah, just taking it's. I'm so amazed at the fact that you've just taken on the job, and I think you're doing a really great job. And
Oh,
I know I
thanks.
couldn't have fucking done it, but like I was nowhere near ready for that. But yeah, like you say, just adopting that role and that duty is just it's always going to result in a meaningful life. You know, something that's worth gives you a purpose, something worth living for,
Yeah,
which is what we all need.
definitely,
Basically,
definitely.
Something doesn't have to be easy. No one wants an easy life. I mean, the holiday, like, everyone says, I want to work to be able, like, or work for the holiday, you know?
Mm.
Go on the holiday. It's like, no, you should get, like, make your life great.
Yeah,
And the holiday's a break.
yeah,
you know?
exactly.
It shouldn't be, like, living for the holiday.
No.
That's going to be the meaningful, purposeful thing in my life. It's like, no, make the thing that you have to do every day meaningful, because you have to do it every fucking day.
Yeah, exactly. Like you need to
Just takes
enjoy what you do
Yeah.
each day, and just I've learned like so much in the last 2 years than what I've learned. I feel like in my whole life, like just so many little things, and things like just enjoying what you do, and like I will never ever go into a job that I don't love.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like I'm like, no, you just got to enjoy each day and find the positives in every day. And
the one thing with that, not going into a job you love, is just I feel like sometimes you might have to develop experience and whatnot.
yeah,
and
no, that's
you got to
true.
work your way up. You can't just expect to get into this magical position that you want. You know.
No, that's very true. That's very true. Like working your way up,
Start from the
definitely.
bottom.
But at least like you've got like a vision of what you do.
Yeah. Have a plan.
Do-
Know where. Try
Yeah,
and figure
I'm
out
just
how this is
meaning, like-
benefiting you
Yeah.
getting to that ultimate place.
Yeah, definitely. It's just like your mindset as well. Like you don't want to be doing something that isn't going to serve you a better purpose. Or,
Yeah, no, it's got to be part of the
that's
plan.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's got to
Yeah.
be benefiting you as well. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, but I do feel for some people that get like stuck in those jobs where it's like you need the income, but like
Yeah.
you don't have the skill or the expertise to go and do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And it's too late. You've lost your potential. You're too old now, which is like tough. But I think some people kind of buy into that trap a little bit as well.
Yeah, I was about to
I think
say.
they buy themselves into that trap.
Yeah. And like, I guess no matter how bad things get or how old you get or how unqualified you feel and all that sort of stuff, we all have like the capability to dream and to work our way to a better life as well, rather
sure.
than just like giving up and just
That should be what we're constantly
Doing
trying to do.
this.
Just trying to make our life better.
Exactly.
Why not?
Exactly.
We're stuck here.
But I
so-
think like a lot of people probably get into that rut of just
oh yeah, and I understand how. Like,
yeah, me too.
yeah. I'm
Me
sure
too.
that I'll get stuck in that rut at some point as well. you know.
Definitely. Yeah. So it's just like keeping that encouragement and just like cheering yourself on mentally and
Aim for the good.
exactly.
Aim for the good.
Yeah.
Stick away from the bad.
Easier said than done, but
Easier said than done for sure. For sure. Right, I think we'll close it up there, eh?
okay.
On that note. Beautiful little note. So yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Give you a wee handshake.
It was awesome. Me too, sorry.
Damn it, Mum. It's kind of cooking in here.
A little bit.
Must be the convo. It's on fire. Sweet as folks. We'll catch you later. That was episode 13. Scruffy Chinwags, A Remedy for Curiosity. We had Joanna Harricks. Hope you enjoy. Catch you later.
Bye.